And in today's video we're going to be testing this Ryzen 3 3200G on this MSI X570. Now just a quick little overview, I'm using the stock cooler on the 3200G with 2 sticks of 16GB of RAM, so that's 32 gigs in total, dual channel. We're not using any GPU in the PCIe because this is a G series AMD card, AMD CPU, which means it has integrated graphics. Overall check of the I/O. Here we have 4 USB-A, 1 USB-C here, HDMI, PS2, audio and Ethernet. And that's a basic overview of this motherboard. Let's get into testing. As you can see, now that we're on the PC, CPU shows up here with its integrated graphics and 30 gigs of RAM and SSD. So the first game we're going to be testing is CS2. We're now in CS2 and we are on 720p all low settings. So let's just play bot match to see how it runs. As you can see, I'm now in the game and I'm getting about 85-ish FPS with stutters down to about 1 FPS. I don't know what it is that's causing this freezing. It's really annoying freezing. It might be graphics drivers, but I'm not sure. Did say the graphics drivers were out of date, but I don't think it would cause this amount of freezing. But when it doesn't freeze, it hits about 60-ish FPS, which is totally playable, around 80 FPS, and it looks fine. CS2 doesn't really look that much different from low to high settings, so I think it's perfectly fine. And now the freezing sort of stopped. Get 1% lows of 1 FPS, which is really bad though. The average is about 70, 60, which is fine if you're on 60 Hz. So for iGPU on a Ryzen 3000 series, it's really not that bad. Our GPU is maxing out, which is to be expected, and the CPU is also quite high in terms of usage. So yeah, CS2 runs okay. On to the next game. As you can see, we are now in, and performance is better than I thought. It's about 60 FPS, 70 FPS. GTA 5 released in 2013, of course, but on integrated graphics, this isn't that bad. And on a 3rd gen Ryzen CPU as well. CPU is less demanding in GTA 5, but still quite impressive. Reaching about 88 FPS here, 100 max. However, we do get 1% lows of 54, which isn't as bad. I mean, CS2, we're hitting 1% lows of 1 FPS due to the horrible freezing. And seems that the rain seems to affect and the weather seems to affect it. GPU usage is nearly max, about 90-ish. As you can see, we're about to go into the playing section. We usually see higher FPS here in the benchmark, which is about what we're seeing right now. We're getting about an average of 70 to 80 FPS. In this flying section, we're getting about 108, 110 at the start. Now it's lowering down to 99, but it's quite inconsistent to 100. The 1% lows are absolutely fine, no freezing, so at least the gameplay is consistent. You could probably bump this up a bit and be fine, about 40-ish FPS. So yeah, GTA 5 runs alright. On to the next game. As you can see, we are now in Rocket League as our next test, and I'm on 1080p this time because I think it might be able to handle it. 1080p, all the lowest settings, and uncapped FPS. So let's just hop into a casual match and see how it runs. Alright, now as you can see, I'm in. This pixel quality is quite awful, but it's running great actually, getting about 80 FPS. Again, if you're a 60 Hz casual player, this will be perfectly fine. It's not like it's dipping under. Okay, there is 1% lows of 2 FPS, but they're not noticeable. You can't really see them. And yeah, it mostly stays about 80. If you're boosting and jumping around a lot, it dips down to 70-ish. But yeah, fine. GPU and CPU maxed out because iGPU and a 3rd gen CPU is to be expected. Again, this game is lighter on the CPU than the GPU. I personally am running a 1000 series Ryzen CPU at home, and it runs fine. This game at about like 180 FPS, 300 FPS. We are getting highs of 100 right now, so yeah, not bad at all. might even increase the graphics a little bit, see if it can handle it. Now that I've got the settings mixed between high and low, I'm seeing about 40ish FPS, so quite a big decrease, but it does look much better. That's what you're looking for. So yeah, I'd say Rocket League is quite playable depending on what your definition is and what your refresh rate is. So yeah, on to the next test. As you can see, we are now in Minecraft, and it is a tiny bit stuttery, but that's to be expected with this CPU. Minecraft is CPU dependent. I mean, these graphics aren't great, but yeah, 80ish FPS. If you look at the ground, you get 180, 200 FPS, but no one plays like this. Again, it depends on your refresh rate, although, like, why would you want to play Minecraft at 240 Hz unless you're on PvP? So yeah, Minecraft runs just fine. It's a lightweight game. Yeah, you fly up in the air and set the render distance. I have mine to 16 right now. Set it to 32. It's obviously going to perform worse. Yeah, 32 chunks does take a hit in performance, but still getting about 70ish FPS. So yeah, Minecraft performs perfectly fine. On to the next game. As you can see, the next game we are testing is Overwatch. We are on 900p at medium to low settings. So we're just going to hop into an unranked match. Okay, as you can see, we are now in Overwatch, unfortunately, this shit game. And we're getting around 60 FPS, and everything's maxed out. I think this is most maxed out everything's been in any game. Well, the performance is better than Rocket League at these medium settings. I'm quite surprised, you know. I thought Rocket League was less physically demanding, although these 1% lows are like 1 FPS each time. This is bad. There is some freezing. So I guess if you want to play esports titles, don't go pro using this PC. I wouldn't recommend it. And when the enemies actually get released, it goes to a solid 10 FPS because of all the stuff on the screen. So yeah, I really wouldn't suggest this. Maybe if you go pro, invest in some proper equipment. Anyway, on to the next test. As you can see, we are now on a YouTube video testing out the graphics. Starting at 1080p, it runs completely fine, as you can see here. No interruptions or buffer. 2x speed works fine. Just open up Task Manager for the higher resolutions. Now bumping it up to 1440p. It still runs just fine. 2x speeding it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, the GPU usage did bump up a tiny bit. CPU isn't really affected that much. There's a tiny bit of noticeable stutter on 1440p, but not by much. Now we're going to bump up to 4K, and there is a noticeable dip in FPS, although it's still completely watchable. The GPU did bump up to 60, which shows that it's working on this 4K. Now for 8K. 8K is freezing, and it's like practically picture mode, which is what I expected. The CPU bumped up, so max keep it at 1080p or 1440p, but overall much better than I expected. On to the next test. As you can see, we are now on WebGL Aquarium. On 5,000 fishes, it's simple 60 FPS, no problem. GPU is around 60, CPU around 50. 10K about 54. 15K, the first noticeable visible dip, about 37 FPS. 25K, 23 FPS, and 30K, about 20 FPS, with no noticeable change in GPU or CPU usage. And that's that. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.